What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's Big Game James here today with the Cowboys Experience. And as always, I got my guy, Law Nation. What's up with you, man?
Oh man, I'm feeling greedy.
Greedy.
Oh my goodness. It was a great game, man. It was a fantastic opportunity for us to display that we are not just a team to be played around with, right? 3-0.
3-0. One of the, 6 or 7 undefeated teams in the league right now. A lot of people are, hey, no, you ain't playing nobody. I ain't playing nobody.
Right.
But the object of the game is to win the game. The object is to stay undefeated if you can. So we're not going to apologize for beating bad teams. This is what you're supposed to do. And when you're averaging 30 points a game and your opponents are averaging under 15 points a game, then you should feel good about it, and you should be feeling good about your ranking right now at 3-0. You know what I'm saying, Lo?
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, just to put this out there, Cowboy Nation, for everybody who was talking about that we started off slow, there was another team that's located in Boston that started off slow against that team as well. So if you look at everything from A to Z, and then on top of that, I think they had 2 pick sixes for their score. So that means that our offense played a little bit better than the team that's located in Boston.
Exactly, and I put up another thing is that everybody is talking about this vaunted Patriots defense. They're holding teams of this, they're holding teams of that. Their teams that they have played are combined 0-9. You know what I mean? They are winless. Steelers haven't won a game. Miami hasn't won a game. You know what I mean? So the teams that you're playing are not winning either, but everybody is pumping up the Patriots like they're the next. Because they've won Super Bowls prior. Man, y'all ain't played nobody either, and you're doing what you're supposed to do. So give the Cowboys props. We are 3-0. We're starting strong, just like we talked about, Law, before we even had the season start. When we had the show, we said the biggest thing we have to do is start off fast and start off strong. And right now, the Cowboys are headed to that. 2-0 in the division, 3-0 as a whole, and I'm not apologizing about that at all.
No, I'm not complaining at all. And when we start to explain this game, there are some things that we got to give critical analysis to. We love this team, but we're not just homering this thing up. Yes, there are some things that we need to work on, but we cannot gloss over the fact that we are 4th overall in total defense, 4th overall in total offense. So that means that this team is well connected and balanced. And shout out to Jason Garrett. Got to give him Coach Red some shout outs and his praises because he's learning to delegate, and delegations for the nations to being able to sit back and let Kelly Moore do his thing, and also sit back and let Papa Rob Marinelli and his younger connected twin Chris Richard to do their things. You see, that's signs of a great coaching right there. So I love what I'm able to see with my natural eyes.
Well, hey, I'm definitely excited about that, what you said. We're about to jump into this little quick, recap of the Dolphins-Cowboys game. But just to kind of bounce off of that, I think that when you're an older coach like Garrett is, he's not older, but you know what I mean. He's been around with the Cowboys for a while. But he has Scott Linehan. And Scott Linehan wasn't a young guy. He wasn't a young pup. He was an older guy, and he was probably set in his way. So there could have been some clashes because I was hearing about last year that they had didn't see eye to eye on everything. Not that I'm saying that him and Kellen Moore are going to see eye to eye everything, but when you got that younger guy underneath you, you want to teach more. You want to let him kind of be free and kind of let him do his thing. And that's what I kind of get the sense of what Garrett is kind of doing, kind of raising up Kellen Moore, but kind of just letting him give him his freedom and letting him do his thing. And I think it's working like a beautiful, well-oiled machine, and you see why now. That's why we're 3-0.
Yes, indeed, and I love every piece of it.
Yes, sir. And so, hey, a few quick shout-outs. I've seen a few people in here right quick. Mark Scott, how you doing? Gambino. We know we love some Gambino. Boo-Thang is in there. Michael Lafferty, what's going on? Come on, continue to jump in here. Get in here. Ask your brothers, your sisters, your cousins. Tell them all get in here and listen to this Cowboys Experience. We're going to talk some Cowboys football. So let's talk about the recap of the game. We were actually there. Shout outs to the Cowboys Experience, because if it wasn't to them, we wouldn't have been there. So that's the plug. You want to find out about these games, you want to find out about this true Cowboys Experience, please get in the inbox. We were able to be down there. Myself, producer G, my whole family was down there. My sons, my little girls were all down there. Guess who did it? The Cowboys Experience. So that's why you have to experience. Get in our inbox, Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, holler at Law Nation. Please find out. You can go to their website as well, Cowboys Experience, or you can go to their Facebook page. Please find out about these great packages. It's an experience like no other. But as I said, we were at the game. We were live. It was exciting. We were frustrated in the first half. We understand we were frustrated. Everybody was like, "Oh, the Dolphins are terrible. We should be blowing this team out. We should be killing them." I mean, I was a little frustrated as well because we were having those easy plays. We had a couple drop balls. We were moving the ball at will. We were just stalling ourselves. It wasn't like the Miami Dolphins were putting it to us. We were stalling ourselves, so you saw a little bit of frustration. You saw the second half, and you saw a totally different team. And one of the beautiful things about that is, Law, what were we getting bashed for the last couple of years? Can't make adjustments after the second half. Stays the same way the whole second half. But guess what? We made the adjustments. We came out on fire, and you seen we dominated. What are your kind of thoughts about the game? What did you kind of see in the game? What impressed you overall about the Cowboys? And just kind of give me your thoughts on it.
Sometimes as they say, the sins of the father falls down to the kids, right? When we look at this team, sometimes we'll look at it and say, hey, we are known to play down to the level of the competition, right? And that's just how it goes. We played down to the level because we were thinking that we were just going to walk up into the Texas Stadium and just throw the ball all over the field. And it didn't work that way. Your boy, your guy, my brother from another mother, he said he was greedy. You see, he wanted to be greedy. So that means he was listening to this show. He was watching this show, Cowboy.
He was tuning in. That don't believe what you want to think, but he was listening to us.
Right, he was listening to Big Game James.
He should have said greedy in the interview, Logness, man.
We know he had to watch it because he mentioned greedy too many times, and he was trying to hit your bold prediction of over 4 touchdowns and beyond, what have you, So this is what's going on with Dak Prescott. He thought that he was going to be able to just throw the ball all over the field. Now, one thing that I can say with Brian Flores, whatever his name is, he is a good defensive coordinator. Just so happened to be now the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, you see. And a lot of times what happened here is that what we was talking about earlier, delegations and things like that, and having a new team, a new nucleus. You get things that like you're going to try to work on each and every week, but every week you want to become better at your respective coaching duties, what have you. But what I'm looking at, you cannot sleep on the Dolphins. They can take the ball away. They could have had more than one interception this past game. But the Dolphins are the Dolphins. I'm not trying to give them a pass, but we kind of play down to their level. And great coaches know how to make those necessary adjustments. And whatever team that was out there for the first half was not the same team that was out there for the second half, basically. So that's what I like to see.
Yeah, and like you said, that's a beautiful thing. And like you said, give the Dolphins props because everybody was dogging them. I think they just didn't really think that Lamar Jackson was going to do that first game. They probably went in the game plan to think he was just going to run and wasn't going to throw the ball. And Baltimore switched up on him. And just like you said again, that Patriots game, if you really watched the Patriots game, and I watched the highlights of that game and I watched the film, the all 222 film, the Dolphins were banging with them. It was only like 13-0 going in like the third quarter. They were fighting tooth and nail with them. And as you said before, they got 2 touchdowns on defense from interceptions. But other than that, they were in the game. They were fighting. They just didn't really have the offensive firepower to really match the New England Patriots. But give the Dolphins credit. They play hard all the way to the end. They don't give up. So we can't just sit there and say this is just a straight bum team. If you look at some other 0-3 teams, I would say they're a better 0-3 team if you look at some of the other guys because some of the other teams just, don't look that good. So I'm going to give Miami them props. One of the things that kind of stood out to me, once again, Law, offensive line. Only gave up 1 sack again. Beautiful thing. And then guess what? We had 200-yard rushers in this game. Ezekiel Elliott, we know what he was going to do, but TP, can I get a witness? Hey, can I get a witness for TP?
Hallelujah.
He got over 100 yards, and guess what? I'm just going to have to say it right now, Law, that it is Big Game James that said 2 running backs over 100 yards for his bold prediction. That's what I said. I said it. I'm sorry. I did say it. And I called it. And I called it on the show. And you heard it right here. 2 running backs over 100 yards. And that's a beautiful thing. And this is just the apex of what's going to happen toward the end of the year. Did that get you excited to finally see the unleashing of Tony Pollard?
Oh, yes. And then for him to make a run and look back and there's no flags, there was no flags. Because I've been trying to hold back my celebratory dance moves because Every time the kid touches the rock, there's flag out there on the turf. There's
Right.
enough flags out there to make a big old quilt to cover the Texas Stadium, for crying out loud, when he running out there. So I'm glad that he was able to get his 100 yards. And that's more tape, more things that the opposition going to have to study. Think about this, and I know we not down at the bottom talking about the Saints, but I got to throw it out while it's fresh on my mind. The New Orleans Saints is a man-to-man defense. They love to play that man. And I can tell you guys, there's nobody that can cover man-to-man Amari Cooper, and there's absolutely nobody that's going to be man-to-man all day when you running that rock like that. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel, the main man, Elliott, the path of the righteous man. Woo-wee! Both in the backfield at the same place at the same time. Troublesome.
It's trouble. And you know Kellen Moore, our offensive coordinator, which he's already 30 points a game in the first 3 games, but you know he's got to be licking his chops like, okay, once again, what you saw in Miami, you're not going to see that again. I'm going to show you something totally different. I'm going to show you totally different looks. You're not going to get a beat on our offense, and that's what has you excited. Before last year, we were like, oh, Lord, we're playing this team. We don't know if we're going to win. We don't know how many points we're going to score. Now you have the enthusiasm about the offense because now you're like, we're not scared of your defense. We're not scared of your defensive players. We don't care who you have on defense. You got to stop us. And our quarterback is playing lights out right now, and he's going to continue to play that. I feel like this is not like we said, the anomaly where, oh, he's going to have 3 good games. And no, this is going to be a consistent now. You see a different Dak Prescott. You see him in that pocket. You see him commanding that offense. You see him with that control. It just has you excited. And there's a dude named Xavier Howard that was over on the Miami Dolphins. Wasn't he the highest paid cornerback? And what did Amari Cooper do to you, dog? He's surgical.
Man,
Surgical.
He was greedy. Yeah.
He was super greedy. He was putting you on skates, dog, man. And he got plantar fasciitis.
Right.
And he's still just killing. You see that route, Law? You seen it.
Cutting him up like he was a Ginzu blade, man. Hey, this thing right here with Amari Cooper just may be like the Troy Aikman to Michael Irvin combination for the nation. This may just be Dak Prescott blessing from the Most High. You see, to have a guy like number 19 to be able to cut you up out there on the field, and then on top of that, to be quiet with it, the silent assassin. Right. The boy is nasty. The boy is good. Nasty.
So now we're talking. He might be up there in them numbers now with getting paid now, Law. Let's be honest. I was thinking, maybe a few weeks, like, Julio Jones, those guys. But how can you not say, I did notice, he did have another drop, but that's okay. He's still a beast. I did mention that, like, I don't know how he drops passes because he's so daggone good. Like, I would never.
Well, this is what I can do.
You tell me.
This is what I can do. You throw me a receiver out there, and I can show you why, or I can just tell you why Amari Cooper is better. Just to throw me a receiver out there, and I'll tell you what he does better.
Yeah, and he's versatile. He can play in the slot. He can play in the outside.
Right. Just throw me a name receiver. You give me a Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Julio Jones. These are the top guys out. If you're saying these are the top guys out, where can you say Amari Cooper is just not as good, or if not better than you? He can do everything y'all can.
Right. His ability, the short area quickness. Let me tell you something right now. A lot of receivers got short area quickness, but they tiny, they small. You see. This guy is huge with short area quickness. All right. So if you look at Michael Thomas' game, he don't have short area quickness. You see. Now he can take the ball out of the sky, and they are in a pass first offense. You see. But if you look at the numbers and things like with it, but they are pass first offense as well. You see. So, and I would take Amari Cooper's speed over Keenan Allen's. So give me another receiver. Just give me another receiver. Boy, I can just talk about this all day.
Hey, I said throw out Mike Evans.
Oh, Mike Evans, he got the physical size, but he rounds off on his routes. Yes. He's not as polished as his short area quickness. You can't throw him a little dump off pass and expecting him to get upfield with yak. You see, so he's on one side of the field. Yes, he's nasty in a sense, but he's no Amari Cooper, because then on top of that, the silent assassin can go across the middle. You can line him out wide. You can do so many things, and he's not even fully healthy. If he was healthy, my guy, Big Game Jack, you know what they would do with Amari Cooper?
Man,
you'd be running the end rounds. You'd be doing the reverse sweeps.
Yeah, I just love watching Amari. What I love more than anything is that route running. That route running, that like you said, that short area quickness. When he starts to stutter, he's setting you up, dog. You about to get it. When he starts stuttering the feet, dog, you better get ready because he about to get you, and it's exciting. And here's the beautiful thing. We know about our second-year guy, Michael Gallup. He's been out. But you saw Randall Cobb, second half, first play, 70-yard touchdowns gets taken back by them, daggone flags. And I think these refs are suspect because they had a suspect hold on La'el Collins for a long run as well. But you seen Gallup was out. You still had a touchdown with Cobb, even though it was brought back. But Dak was still doing his thing. Devin Smith caught a couple passes. Old man Witt got in the game. Dak is still spreading the ball around. And once again, the offensive line that was maligned last year because of injuries, and they say, oh, it wasn't the line like it was before. This isn't the offensive line that it was before. This is the Philadelphia Eagles have the best offensive line in the NFL. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because we're looking like the best offensive line once again, especially with La'el Collins stepping up. Connor Williams had a pretty good game yesterday as well. So when you're seeing that offensive line with Dak Prescott, 2 running backs over 100 yards, the silent assassin, he got 2 touchdowns. Didn't even seem like it because didn't even hear about it, but he's still killing folks. 30 points, softly. Another game, beautiful game all the way out. So we're going to talk about that defense now, Law, because everybody's trying to dog our defense. Oh, it ain't the same defense. Defense needs to step up. Defense needs to do this. But like you said, Law, we're 4th in the league in points allowed. We haven't had a 100-yard rush except Saquon Barkley, and that was after a 59-yard game. So we shut down Adrian Peterson. We came in, we shut down, and we had a couple critical plays where they were driving at halftime. We had the big fumble that we got the ball back to stop them. And then, even though they were going after Cheeto, my dog had the great interview. Check out an interview out on the Cowboys Experience. But guess what? He could have caught that touchdown, but Cheeto fought through it, knocked that ball out, and that was huge because that changed the play of the game because they could have took the lead or tied us with that. I can't remember. But tell me your thoughts about the defensive performance and what do you think kind of going forward?
See, a lot of people worry about the potatoes and they miss out on the meat. You see, the old folks know the sayings. You worrying about the peas and you forget about the meat, basically. And this defense, the name of the game is you have more points than your opposition, and your defense stopped the team from gathering a lot of points. Now, we can't help who we play, you say. So a lot of people saying, well, it's against the Giants. Well, it's against the Washington team. Well, it's against the Miami Dolphins. Don't they get paid just like anybody else? Are they a professional team too? You see? So we can't just pigeonhole ourselves or put ourselves in a corner and say, well, we only right here because of the teams we played. You're like the infamous Bill Parcells says, you are what your record says you are, right? So we are 3-0, and that's what our record says. Now, we can look over to the Eagles, and they could have been 3-0, but their players are dropping the ball like basketball, playing volleyball, for crying out loud. They could have won their last few games, but who have they played, right? Exactly. If we had the same schedule coming out of the gauntlet and we played the Washington team game 1, and then we turned around and played the Atlanta Falcons, who I think we would dog them out as well. Yes. And if we played the Lions, we would have dogged them out and put our elbows down in their faces and mouth. And we would have been looking at the same scenario, the narrative of saying, hey, the Cowboys have not played anyone, right?
Exactly.
Now, at the start of this year, we was hearing all type of news and noise and all of this outside echoes of noise of saying that the mighty Philadelphia Eagles got the best roster that ever been seen out there, right?
Right.
Even as it relates to depth purposes. But what we do, this defense that we do, as far as depth purposes, we don't look for excuses. You see, we was without a Robert Quinn, wasn't we?
Yes,
for the first 2 weeks. We was without Xavier Woods, wasn't we?
Yes, we were.
Wait, we had a healthy scratch. We even put Taco Charlton. He couldn't even make he couldn't make the starting lineup. He couldn't make 46.
Right.
Wasn't he our first round draft pick a couple of years ago? You see. So
Tyrone Crawford didn't play.
And Tyrone Crawford.
And Antoine Woods.
Antoine Barbecue Woods. Man, made me want to get some barbecue for lunch. You see?
Right.
So what we're saying here, Cowboy Nation, is that we are not even at our full force. And I got to put this out there too. Byron Jones. He didn't play all offseason, all training camp. Matter of fact, D-Law in the same boat. This guy was trying to get healthy out there or trying to get his player reps out there week 1 and week 2. You see? So by anybody that wears silver and blue complaining about this defense, they need to go into the reality world and say to themselves, man, I need to study up on football and study up on my team, because we were running ourselves out there and we were trying to get valuable reps as it relates to week 1 and week 2.
Exactly.
Just be patient, Cowboy Nation. We 4th overall in total defense. The name of the game is that the opposition got to have less points than you. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, baby.
And yeah, like you were saying, we had a lot of injuries. Antoine Woods was out, Tyrone Crawford out, Xavier Woods was out. We had a lot of injuries. So the good thing about it is when you have those injuries, guys can step up in their place. You had who I've been touting. This is one of our biggest free agent signings that nobody really talked about was Christian Covington underneath. He played that one tech. Woods was out the game. Man, I told people the last couple of weeks, I love the Covington dude. I love him underneath. He's got that size. He has good size. He has good height, and he has a motor like no other. And you saw it in the game. He was very disruptive. You couldn't really run up the middle when he was in the game. Also, Tristan Hill had some good get off in that game. To calm down with calling people bust after 2 or 3 games, man. Okay?
Yes.
You need to calm down. Stop saying that kind of stuff. He got in the game. He looked explosive. Had a couple plays where he blew up the line. Just give him some time. He keeps his pad level low. That's when he plays better. But Ron Marinelli, they're still teaching. He's still growing. So it's okay when you don't have to start him. That's all right when you still got a good defensive front. It's okay to bring him all along slowly if you don't feel he's ready. Why would you throw him in the fire and he's not ready, and then the defense suffers? You understand what I'm saying? So that's not a bad thing to me. Also, like you said with Byron Jones, he didn't even sniff no work against the Dolphins. He didn't even sniff no work, and he's just coming back from injury. They went after Cheeto a little bit, and I heard a lot of people was dogging Cheeto. People were frustrated. Oh, Cheeto ain't this shit. But when you really look at it, one thing I love about Cheeto, he never gives up. He stays fighting the whole game. How many times have we seen Law in the NFL that once you go after a cornerback and he starts getting some passes on him, that mind is gone. Then you can just attack him all game. But Cheeto fought, had the huge knockout play when he knocked the ball out, because that was going to be a touchdown. I think they would have tied it up or took the lead with that play. So that was huge. And also, one thing I love about Cheeto is when you throw a pass on him, his hands are right there. It's almost frustrating. The ball is always right on the fingertips of his hand. Like his hand, he puts his hand right when that ball enters. And that one pass, I mean, dude caught it with one hand. Cheeto was all over me, caught it with one hand. I mean, come on, dude. How many people are catching one-hand balls all the time? You understand what I'm saying? So let's back off Cheeto a little bit. And we ain't heard no kind of people going after, after him, and he's had a good camp. So let's back off Cheeto. He had a good game, and our defense played good as all, especially in that second half. But let's talk about one player that I was loving from day one that came from that team, Mr. Mighty Quinn. It was the first game. We got Robert Quinn back. Man, I got to see him up close. I was right there. That man's get off is ridiculous. He was doing that wide 9. He was getting back there every play, Law. Man, if you don't get excited, get excited about that Robert Quinn edition, the defense is going to get funkier and funkier. Let me tell you, because now you don't have to see all that sliding coverage, sliding protection over to DeMarcus Lawrence, because you got to respect Robert Quinn. So he is going to make that defense better. Tell me about Robert Quinn, Law.
Oh, man, his burst off the LOS is second to none on his team. His ability to get into the backfield and play around, man, is crazy. And his shoulder, he bend. He can almost
bend. Randy Gregory bend.
He got that bend. Hey, that shoulder blade can cut grass if he wanted to. You see, that's how low he gets to the ground. Yes, and he fans out with the wings. His arm span is everything, and then he can crash upfield and get the runner down. Just keep this in mind, Cowboy Nation. This was his first game back. You see, right. So he's going to be more explosive, and then on top of that, teams are going to look at it and say, like you said, when he lined out wide, they're going to say to themselves, do we put that tight end to Chip over there? Do we put that running back to Chip over there? What do we do? Because we can't line the tight end in line on this route anymore, because if we don't get this ball out quick, that could be the funeral for our quarterback. And we don't want that process to happen, because the quarterback is your main staple piece to your offense. So I'm believing that if you guys can just have a little patience, D-Law is working back to get his legs back into shape. That's what I'm looking at. Because I'm looking at D-Law being a little gassed. He does get the multiple double teams out there. That's what we see out there on the film. Look, you got to have Ray Charles vision to not see it, you see. And you can see for full evidence that D-Law is still requiring 2 people to be on him. But guess what? Mighty Quinn requires that too. So that's why you're going to see 96 eat. That's why you're going to see your boy number 95, Live Like 95, eat as well. That's why when you rotate, and I'm talking about this new number out there because I thought he was 79. Then all of a sudden I looked at my screen and I said, who is 97?
Exactly.
97? How are you able to get him out there? My voice went away. How are you 97? And everybody was saying, hey, it was a trap block. But I was looking at the fact that he actually disrupted that play because he got down there so quick at the goal line to disrupt that play. His hand was right there, Big Game James. His hand was right there. So that was his first game out there. So let's give it a couple of times. You're going to get there.
Yeah, and like you said, that there's nothing wrong with the reps. And then what's going to be even beautiful when Antoine Woods does come back. I always said better have injuries early than late. So now Xavier Woods might get some practice time because they don't think it is bad. But also, let's talk about that kid Thompson back there. He was going to be the starter. People were nervous and worried. Oh, what's Thompson going to do? Hey, me and you talked, Law. We were at camp. We didn't even see him. We didn't even know he was there at camp. We did not know he was there. We were like, where is Thompson? We don't see him. He was very quiet at camp. But guess what? He came out like gangbusters. Great awareness. And he was showing a lot of things that we were talking about. I didn't see the tackling. One of the things that they were saying that he was not the best tackler, and you could see it even in camp. But he showed something totally different in that game, and that's a testament to Chris Richard. Let's give Chris Richard good. I love him as a coach because he makes you better. He brings that out of you, and I think you saw it with that work with Thompson. Tell me about your thoughts about Thompson.
Wow. On the goal line play, Thompson was able to feel, and you want your safeties to be able to feel, especially if your linebacker can't get there. He filled the B gap, and he was able to get the running back down. And I'm looking at him tackling out in space. Chris Richard teaches this thing right here as it relates to the defensive back. Resiliency. Each one teach one. It's not about, everybody was talking about the Legion of Booms. No. He was saying that the Legion of Boom is the love of brothers, you see. So when Xavier Woods went down, and then all of a sudden you see Jeff Heath playing the free safety role, which I say that it was his natural position anyway. We saw that Jeff Heath was able to roam out there free, to be able to come down and crash. Shout out to Alan Hearns. We love what he was able to do. But, man, he put
the wood laid on him.
He put that wood on him. He put him in the cradle. You see, rocking my baby to. You know how that thing goes.
Yeah,
so he rocked him. He rocked him. And as you go back to the sounds of the game, because I love that deal that the Dallas Cowboys do. He was saying, I was playing the ball. And one thing that I took out of that whole entire excerpt or that piece of film was Chris Richard saying, baby, you got a right to the ball just like anyone else. So what Chris Richard is teaching these young DBs, fly out to the ball. Don't worry about it. Each one teach one. Your accountability, your responsibility is to be there. Now, I'm not saying that Thompson is the best thing since sliced bread, but what I'm saying is that mental attitude of just doing exactly what he did out there to stop the run, fill in the gaps. Man, we got us a special coach out there, Chris Richard. We got to figure out a way to keep him when that silver and blue is coaching his team up.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to figure out a way. Hopefully, because when you have success, people come to try to poach, and that's what was going on. The talk of it last year. I'm sure if we keep on winning, they're gonna be going after him. They're gonna be going after Kellen Moore. That's just what happens when you're successful. People want to take from that. So hopefully they have a plan in place that they can be able to keep these guys, because I think we're beginning to have something special, in my opinion. And I'm not hyping this. You know, people always want to try to dog Cowboys fans. All y'all saying y'all going to Super Bowl every year. Well, I mean, that's the thought. That's what you're supposed to think as a fan or as a team. That's the object and that's the goal. But when you really look at the staff that they put together, the coaching that they put together, Kellen Moore, John Kitna, Ben Bloom, Chris Richard, even Ron Marinelli, Mark Colombo, Sanjay Lau. I mean, these are real Gary Brown. I mean, these are some good guys. I mean, these are some guys that were successful in the NFL as well. So it's not like you're getting bumped. The coaching has just been, to me, immaculate. And then shout outs, like you said, Jason Garrett. He is continuing to evolve. One thing about a person or a coach, you want to never feel like you're there. Even if you coach 30 years, there's still more you can learn. If you feel like you've came to the apex and you don't need to learn anymore, then that's when you just need to die. You get what I'm saying? Because as long as you're alive, you can always learn. And there's nothing wrong with Jason Garrett continue to grow in this process. And it just looks like this team is all the way his. And that's what I do like about it. And you see the command in it. And I just believe everybody in that locker room, as much as we say it on the outside, I've said it before too, but them players, I really believe in Jason Garrett.
Yes, indeed. And life have a purpose. Everybody have a purpose on this planet. I don't know anything about most of you guys that's in the chat box. I don't know everything about you, Big Game, James. Right. But there's something special by each and every last one of you all. And y'all got to harness that special talent, whether it be coaching, or whether it be us doing this communication for the nation is talking Cowboys. So there's something special about Jason Garrett, you see, and his ability to be able to always have that positive message, to be able to pull from resources as it relates to the coach down there in Alabama, or he can reach out to Bill Belichick, or he can reach out to what's the coach that won the Super Bowl, Jimmy Johnson for us. You see, he got this great communication skill. Think about this. If you think I'm lying, Cowboy Nation, I want you all to go back, and I think you can turn on ESPN, or you can go to Browns.com, go to their website, and just listen to the interview process of their coach, the Kitchens coach, whatever his name is, you see. Yeah, and just see how he was able to conduct the interview, and let me know if that's something that you want to put on display for your team, you see. So as much as we dog out Jason Garrett, he's very polished as it relates to communications, you see. And I'm glad that he's able to delegate, and that's the main thing. Being able to delegate is a very, very, very underrated skill, especially in management and beyond.
Yeah, and like I said, I think we're having something special, and as long as we keep the staff going, and I think they're going to keep on drafting correctly, this could be something where we wanted to see we're a playoff team every single year. You know what I mean? So that's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about the NFC East in particular. Then we're going to jump into this Saints game, the matchup, and where we kind of look at keys of the game. Right. NFC East right now, Cowboys obviously 3-0. You got the Eagles 1-2. Giants came in there and got that lucky victory. But hey, Daniel Jones didn't look bad. Okay. Right. And then you got the lowly Redskins who look like hot trash, waste garbage. And Josh Normal was getting it again. And we love seeing that. So we definitely love seeing that. So kind of give me your thoughts about the NFC East right now, as far as the teams, Eagles, Redskins, Giants. What do you kind of think about the NFC East right now?
I think that we are where we're supposed to be, and we are where we belong, on top. And everybody else still working out their neck muscles, looking up as it relates to where we're at now, and as it relates to football Super Bowl trophies. They're still looking up, and we are the greatest. We are the best franchise. We are the best organization. We are the richest. We are the baddest. We located in the West, but we dominate the East because we all some beasts, Cowboy Nation. We are the best, as you see. So you might as well put that tattoo on your chest, Cowboy Nation. We dominating. And if you think about it, by us having 2 games, 2-game lead, right? And we won 2 divisional games. So that put us way ahead of our opposition. Now, I can't say in the reality bubble that the Eagles shot themselves in the foot because they could be 3-0 right now as we speak. But they're players. They don't know how to overcome those situations of dropping the ball, playing volleyball with their hands and things like that. So if I look at this team, the only threat that we have right now, done already shot themselves in the foot, are the Eagles. And I'm not even worried about the Washington team. They still got a lot of things to work on and improve on. I think that the Giants, although they got a nice little gem out of Daniel Jones, I'm thinking that they're going to sit back and regress a little bit because now Saquon Barkley got a high ankle sprain.
Right.
So they may be a team that we look at next year, you see, when they go ahead and they finally move on from Eli Manning. But outside of that, this division, all we got to do is still take it one day at a time. My only focus will be on the New Orleans Saints. But outside of that, I think that we are in the right place and we're where we belong.
Definitely. I definitely agree with you. Like, I'm going to give a few more shout outs.
Yeah.
Marvin Hargrove, what's been gone, man? He said he was in Facebook jail. I'm glad you're out of jail. I've actually never been in Facebook. I've been in Facebook jail. I've been in Facebook jail like 3 days. And, man, Law. It's brutal. It is brutal. Like, you feel like some of your life is gone when your Facebook taken away, man. So I definitely feel you on that. Bobby Boucher, what's up with you? You know I'm talking about. Daniel Meza, how you doing? Lorenzo, all y'all, how y'all doing? Make sure you keep on bringing those comments in, and we're going to ask a couple questions from you guys here in a little bit after we do this Dallas New Orleans review, which was about to come up right now. So, Cowboys, Saints, these next two games, I don't want to just talk about the Packers either, but I seen a comment on here. The next two games are going to kind of be telling because everybody said, y'all ain't playing nobody. So now we're going to see what y'all really about because now you're going into New Orleans and you're going to have them Packers who are supposedly much more improved. They're 3-0. They're saying their defense is a lot better. They had 6 sacks the other night. So they're saying their defense is improved. We got these Saints. Drew Brees is out. Teddy Bridgewater went into Seattle and they whooped up on them Seahawks. Them Seahawks, they only had like 7 points going all the way into the fourth quarter. So they put it on them. What are your thoughts about the New Orleans Saints now with Teddy Bridgewater? What do you think they're going to try to do against us on the offensive side of the ball first?
Well, offensively against the Seattle Seahawks, they wasn't that amazing to me, in my opinion.
Talk to me.
They were able to get those touchdowns from kickoff returns or pump returns or what have you, but I didn't really see anything from Teddy Bridgewater that makes me think that I'm going to be scared of him. Now, I will say this, Cowboy Nation, we don't take any opponent lightly. Don't get it twisted. They still have weapons like a Kamara, number 41. And I like the number 11 kid. I forgot his name, but he wears number 11. The boy is quick, grease lightning fast.
He's super quick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that'd be the wild card for them. And then on top of that, I'm not worried about Michael Thomas.
I'm not either. Can I say something right quick, Law?
Break it down, man. No PC. Okay. Just give me the unfiltered.
Okay, Michael Thomas. He talks a lot of trash too. Like you go on his Twitter, he runs his mouth like no other. Like he is. But when I watch him, okay, I watched him at Ohio State, okay? I didn't think he was great at Ohio State, okay? I didn't. He could make good catches. He was that 50-50 guy. You could throw the ball top, but he didn't have the amazing speed. Like you said, you got benefited from getting Drew Brees. You got Drew Brees. It fell in your lap. You got Drew Brees, who's a pass-first quarterback throwing for 5,000 yards every single year. Of course you're going to get 110 catches every year. Jimmy Graham was getting almost 100 catches every year in that offense. You get what I'm saying? I just don't know if you the best receiver in the game when I watch you. Because when I can put Amari Cooper right next to you, man, I think Amari can do more than you, especially that route running. Amari Cooper will kill you in route running. So like you said, I ain't nobody scared of no Michael Thompson, Thompson, whatever your heck your name is. I don't even know your name. I just want to say clamp down that Kamara. We can clamp down that Kamara. I think we're going to have a really good chance. Also, on the defensive side of the ball, what do you think we're going to do? How do you think we're going to attack them on the defense? They have Cam Jordan. Defense is pretty good, but definitely can get scored on and been run through. What do you think how we should attack their defense?
They don't want to tackle. You know, we talk about they got the press man covers. And what's it, Marshawn Lattimore? That's his name, right? I saw that there was a tweet out there from Brian Broaddus of all people. And I love Brian Broaddus' film, and I love his skills and all of his acumen of football knowledge. But I'm not worried about Marshawn Lattimore because what I'm going to do is rip open and take his soul out with the running attack. He don't want that business action. He don't want that work action, Cowboy Nation. You heard it first from the nation, Law Nation, that we're going to run the ball down their throats. And then when they lax up a little bit and they all focus in on trying to stop the run, that's when we carve and that's when we eat. That's when we have the St. Florida leaves, whatever you want to call them, the Florida leaves, whatever that logo is. That's when you will see. That's when you will see the Amari Cooper. And we gotta be greedy. And you're gonna try to have the one-on-one. We saw Xavier Howard, one of the best press man covers out there. There's nobody that got more interceptions than Xavier Howard in the last few years. I think he got 11 interceptions, right? We saw that brother basically on skates last week. Yeah. So I'm gonna see some of the same situations going on.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of that, Law. And just like you said, and guess who else they got? They got Eli Apple.
Oh, Eli, Apple.
We're going to get after you. So, hey, you know what? Yeah, y'all got Bridgewater. That was a great thing that you got him as a backup. But y'all just throw strictly over the middle. Man, let's get after them. Kamara, he doesn't scare me in the run game. He's more, to me, passing game, like running back. He doesn't really scare me in the running game. I just feel like we can blow them out. I just feel it. This could be a game where we can blow them out. We really can. I'm not just drinking the Kool-Aid or anything like that. But our offense can really attack this defense. Just like you said, we got a monster, a two-headed monster. Did you ever watch Godzilla? You ever watch Godzilla? You remember that three-headed monster that they had? The three-headed. Well, we got a big two-headed monster coming at you with footballs down your throat, and it's Ezekiel Elliott and TP. Can I get a witness? What y'all gonna do? What you gonna do? And then you still got Amari, man, he gonna get after you. And then you got Cobb, who is looking good on the end. And then you can still throw the old man Witten. And if you slip up, we throw for Jarwin and hit you with a 25 game with Jarwin. You feel me? And then if you try to play around Eli Apple, we're gonna throw it to you deep. Devin Smith, deep on Eli Apple, touchdown. You get what I mean? So we're gonna attack. And then when you look on the defensive side of the ball, pressure. Get after Bridgewater. Get after him, okay? Because I don't think he's a deep ball thrower. I think he's going to be throwing those mid-range passes all game, those little flats and those mid-range passes. If we can shut that down, Law, I don't think they're going to score a lot of points on us, and that's just what I feel. How about your feelings?
Yeah, I feel the exact same way, Cowboy Nation and Big Game James. I'm about to call you Big Game the James Nation, but you know how it goes. Big Game James. You know how I just feel that this team, when we get them one-dimensional, and if we can play to the level that we've been playing at, trust me, Dak Prescott, this is going to be a night game, right? All eyes are going to be on him. And he's not going to be as sweaty, right? He's been sweaty, out there in the heat and out there in the other elements as it relates to early games in the Texas Stadium. Now I'm thinking that it's nighttime. We're going to be cool, calm, and collected. And we're going to show everybody. When you're running, when you ever ran it, when you was growing up, I feel like you just run faster at night. We got two guys that are going to be feeling like they running faster out there. That's Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
Yes, definitely. And I'm listening to a few of the comments. Please, our defense is not suspect, okay? It's not. Our defense is not suspect. The Dolphins scored 6 points on us, okay?
Tell them to name me 7 other defenses that's better.
Yes, name some top defenses out there, because right now you see we played the Redskins. They didn't do anything on us. They scored that garbage touchdown at the end. It was 31-14 Law. They scored the garbage points at the end. The Giants did absolutely nothing against us, okay? Just because we're not getting 7 sacks a game and 32 turnovers a game doesn't mean our defense is suspect. It's doing its job. It's going to continue to get better. And remember, those first 2 games, we didn't have a Robert Quinn. I can almost tell you that if Robert Quinn was playing those first 2 games, I think it'd have been a different story as well, because that get off is ridiculous. So let's not judge our defense. I don't want to bash our defense. I said our defense needs to step up, but it's not suspect by any means, because if we was a suspect D, Miami would score more points than they did. You know what I mean? So our defense is good. We're going to be better. And it's okay to be a little cocky, confident about yourself, because guess what? Them 90s teams, when they were winning the Super Bowls, were they cocky?
Shoot, they were.
Was 85 Bears cocky?
Yeah.
was them 2012 Seahawks with the Legion of Boom cocky?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you got to have a certain edge. You got to have a certain edge and know that we are better than you. And when we come there, we're going to show you, and you got to have that edge about you. So I want that edge. The edge that DeMarcus Lawrence has, where he's always talking that trash, that's the edge I want to have. I don't want to be sitting there like, oh, well, we respect all our opponents. No, we don't like you. We're going to beat you. We don't care about you. We're going to sack you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. That's the kind of edge I want with our team, because when you have that type of attitude and mentality, you play better. And when you already have the talent to back that up, it's a beautiful thing. And that's why I feel like we're going to get after these Saints. I don't care if it's in New Orleans. We're going to get after these guys, because you know what? Cowboys are listening to this too, Law. They're listening that, oh, y'all ain't played nobody. Y'all ain't beat nobody. Y'all ain't did this and y'all ain't did that. You know what? Dallas is out to do more proving. And Dak Prescott has heard that his whole freaking career. So how do we not have that chip on our shoulder right now? Because everybody's still doubting us. So I'm okay with coming in your house to prove it again. And I say we're going to blow you out. So before we end this session, once again, thank you, Law, like you always do. I love doing these shows with you. We're going to ask for some bold predictions. We're going to ask for some score outcomes. So I'm going to ask the fans that are in here right now, give me some of your bold predictions and some score predictions in your game. I want you to give me a score prediction first, Law, and then give me your bold prediction, because we've been pretty good with the bold predictions on here.
Right.
Pretty good track record over here.
Right. So this is the thing. I always going to say we're going to win 28-13. So that's my prediction for the game. That was bold. Remember last year, they were been bold. They're like, oh, man, this guy scored 28 points on the New Orleans Saints. Because last year, I think what we scored last year against the Saints, was it 13-10?
13-10.
Yeah, 13-10. So 28-13 would be a massive improvement, right? But this is the thing, before I give everything out to you all, and I have to go back to this on this defensive side of the ball. When Jeff Heath laid the wood on our brother Allen Hurns, did they go back across that middle again? Nah, they cancel all reservations. And that's how this defense can do. This defense sets the tone. And what I'm telling you guys, they're going to look back. A lot of teams are going to look back at that tape and they're going to say, man, you know what? They hitting across this middle. Coach, put me out there. I bet you they won't hit me like that. Says nobody, you see. And then on top of that, D-Law is looking at how he won his individual battles last year against the New Orleans Saints. And Robert Quinn is looking back at that tape as well. Of course, they're looking at week 1 and week 2 and week 3's tape of the New Orleans Saints. Don't get it twisted. So I'm looking at this defense. My bold prediction, Jeff Heath gets 2 interceptions, okay? Ooh. Oh, and one of them goes back to the house. And then on top of that, your brother, number 90, shout out to the Laws. He gets 3 sacks. And number 58, who I think he should have 94 on, he gets 3 sacks. So that's a total of 6 sacks from your bookends, 2 interceptions, 1 go to the house. That's my defensive bold prediction.
Whoa, that is super, super, super bold. And you make sure if that happens, you better post that all on Facebook, Twitter, and all that. You better get out. You heard it here first with these bold predictions. So I'm gonna read some of the fans in here right quick before we ask off. But my bold prediction is I was gonna go on the defensive side of the ball, but you took all the good ones, so I'm gonna have to go to the offense.
Greedy.
You greedy. You so super greedy. And I didn't like that when you took all my stuff, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with Dak Prescott because hey, I just think Dak Prescott is gonna be phenomenal this game, and I think our running game is gonna be good. But Dak Prescott's gonna throw for 380 yards.
Woo!
4 total touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 running, and he's only going to miss 5 completions. Wow. So like a 25 of 30, 380 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 1 running, and Dak takes it to the house on that run, and we blow out these New Orleans Saints. They don't be close to us. We blow them out. We beat them 27-10. And they get that 10 at the last minute.
Oh, wow.
You like that one?
I like that one.
You like that one? We got some good ones. We was getting greedy. I got greedy. You got greedy? I got greedy. Let me look at
we left out Ezekiel. You got to put something out there for Ezekiel. Maybe Producer G is going to say something about Ezekiel.
Producer G, tell us. What's your thoughts, Producer G?
Yeah, let me jump in here. I want to say a score. I'm going to give it 35 Cowboys, Saints 17. Wow. I don't think Bridgewater is going to be able to handle the offense that we have. He ain't going to be able to keep up with it. And a bold prediction, and I want to say Devin Smith again, because last week I called him for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't get close to that.
That's why I call him again.
That's what I'm about to say. I'm going to say he again, but I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. I'm going to say 100 yards and a touchdown. His first 100-yard game.
First 100-yard game from Devin Smith, we can see it. That can definitely happen, especially if you're going after Eli Apple. If Eli Apple's guarding Devin Smith, he definitely getting 100. So you better be careful, Eli Apple, and talk to your mama. Call her because we gonna come after you. And you know she always be trying to save you and help you. I'm gonna give a few shout outs to some scores here. Lamar Darden has 24-9 Cowboys. Chad Warner 28-14. Gambino 20-13. Richard Woodard 35-24 Cowboys. Lorenzo Cavazos, I hopefully if I said that right, 35-17. Gambino says he's going to have 2 touchdowns, 1 run, 1 pass. Christopher Cash gets 25-17. Ron Garrett, what's up with you, Ron? 31-17. His bold prediction is Jason Witten gets 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Carlito de La Vega says, he 2 interceptions. Come on now, man. Hey, that's why we call him bold prediction. Yeah, there you go. Terry Turner gives us 41-17. I like that one even better. You know what I mean?
You know what we ought to do with this segment, Big Game James and Producer G? We ought to reach out to Barry on behalf of Cowboys Experience. And if anybody get their bold prediction right, maybe they get 50% off of their tickets, or maybe they get a free deal, a free appearance, a free autograph. Maybe we can work out something.
Yeah,
Let me know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, we're gonna go back in the lab after the show is over. We're gonna go back in the lab because we greedy and we very greedy. We want y'all to get greedy too, so we want y'all to have something. I sound like the Count Chocula. Frankenberry, Count Chocula. Just saying. But hey, we appreciate everybody jumping in here. We thank everybody for paying attention to these Cowboys like we are, coming into the Cowboys Experience like we said. And once again, had a phenomenal experience. We just got back late last night. We were on the road all night. That drive is brutal, let me tell you. But it was well worth it because why? Because the Cowboys Experience. Very second to none. So once again, just like we said at the very beginning of the show, if you're trying to find out the best experience possible to these games, the Lava Cantina, meeting players, getting these great seats, seeing all the lovely things, the tailgating. I got to meet Randy White, one of my awesome legend. I got to meet him. Kenny Gant, I've got an interview coming with Kenny Gant soon. Lincoln Coleman. Everson Walls dipped out on me before I could get him, but I'm going to see Everson Walls. But how do you get all that? The Cowboys Experience. So you need to find out about this. So once again, Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, Law Nation, get at us so we can get you to these games so you can get this experience like no other. So without further ado, thank for everybody tuning in. We loved everybody that was commenting, give us good information like they do. But before we leave, as always, Law Nation, please tell them how they can find you because they should know about you because you're the man.
Oh my goodness, I'm love to be on this platform, man. Really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Last week I said I want you guys to get this thing to 100 shares, and I looked down, it was way beyond that. Since it's week 4, let's get this thing to 400 shares. We need it. And guys, you can follow me on LAW Nation. That's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and beyond. I'm even on Twitter. I'm on all other platforms. Just type in Law Nation, and you should see my name or face or logo. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute.
Oh, I you know what? I love that. Every time you do it, I wait for it. I wait till you get done, and then I wait till you say that part because that's just like the best part in the world. I just love you for that. But hey, shout outs once again to everybody that was here. Please like, subscribe the Cowboys Experience. The page is growing like no other, and we want it to continue to grow like no other. So please like and support. And if you're in the Dallas area or anything like that, and you can get to this Lava Cantina, please come out there to these home games, meet us. Let's have a good time, have some drinks, have some fun, man, because it's an experience like no other. And hey, if you want to find out about the Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, you can holler at us too. Just type Silver and Blue Nation. It'll come right up on your Facebook. We got your YouTube page, Instagram, Twitter, all those good things. But like I said, this is one big happy marriage and one coalition that we're trying to do right here with Law Nation, Silver and Blue Nation, and the Cowboys Experience. And it's a beautiful thing that's going on right now. So we just continue to love the support and continue to support like no other. So that being said, Big Game James, Law Nation, Producer G Voltron, who always does this. Let me give a shout out to Producer G Voltron because you see these crazy graphics. You see this stuff that's put out there like no other. That's a trendsetter that we got here as our producer. He's a trendsetter. And let me tell you that's true. And he's greedy too. He's greedy. So we'll end with that. Let's get greedy against these Saints and get that dub. So salute, and we'll talk to you next week. Out.
Peace.